Today I am going to play Primosole Bridge, a game that covers Operation Faustian, which was a British airborne operation at Italy at July 1943, which was planned by, surprise, Bernard Law Montgomery. And of course it failed. What a surprise. It was the first game of the Great Battles of the Small Unit series, released in both Polish and English by the Polish company Strategemata. And starting with this game, it was quite a pretty original system, because it is diceless. It is a series of tactical scale games where you play as a companies, sometimes platoons, and single weapons when it comes to the guns or tanks. And this is a game where you don't use any dice, and you need a deck of cards provided by yourself to resolve all the random issues. And this game comes with the two separate scenarios. First about the British airborne attack on the Primosole Bridge, and then about main body of the British forces coming to capture the bridge. This is a setup for the scenario 1. We have British airborne battalion headquarters here, and one more British artillery observers unit along with another headquarter, and we have a couple of British airborne companies to land. Let's make it straight. This battle was poorly planned, and due to this fact, all the British units are going to land as weakened. If you want to change a balance of the scenario, you can use them with their full strength. But I am going to keep on with original version, and I'm going to make them start with their weakened version. Now, a scenario takes 15 turns to play, and first thing we need to do is to check an initiative. This game uses random initiative, and in every turn only one player activates his units. So, the scenario says initiative Germans 3 cards. This means that we have to draw 3 cards from our deck. Let's shuffle it a bit. And now we need to draw 3 cards. So these 3 colors are showing us the colors of the German initiative. So this one is going to be British. Remaining 3 are for Germans. If at the beginning of each turn a card is drawn with any color, then a player of this side gains initiative in a given turn, and then this counter is flipped on the other side, so in the next turn this color provides initiative for the other player. I think this is pretty original, and I think pretty cool mechanics that makes game very random. So you may play the same scenario with same units, and you will find that due to this random initiative the game might turn completely different. Next, we need to give each player his cards, because cards are the heart of this game. They control a lot of stuff, including who is going to activate in turn, or how many units you can activate in every turn. So it says that Germans get 10 cards and British player gets 4 cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards for German player, and 1, 2, 3, 4 for British player. They are going to be used to activate your units and to reorganize disorganized units. Next, when we are ready, we have to set up our units. As you can see, I already set up all the units that are starting on the fixed hexes, but now I need to make airborne operation of the Brits. Like I said, it was very poorly planned, and only a couple of units managed to land, and they also landed not with their full strength, and this scenario shows this. So if you feel that Brits are too weak, like I said before, you may start with them being with their full strength, but that's not very historically accurate. So how do we land? We take a unit, for example, let's say this, and we have to place it on any hex adjacent to its headquarter, or if game says so, on the certain hex. But if there is no given hex, you have to set up on the hex adjacent to its headquarter, or on the hex with its headquarter. Then we draw first card, and next we draw another card. Yeah, 2 cards for each unit, and if the next card has a value higher than the first one, then such unit lands well. If no, this unit is removed from the game. So here we have 10, and then we have king, and game mechanics says that each card with a character, not with a number, has a value of 1. So the first card has 10 and the second card has 1. So the second card has a lesser value than the first one. And due to this fact, this unit is removed from the game. Yes, according to my own experience with this game, it might happen that the majority of the British forces are not going to land. If such thing happens, you may actually try to make the whole procedure again to not make game very one-sided, although, like I said, Brits had a very bad luck in the history as well. So let's put these cards on. All the spent cards should be placed somewhere on the back, and when the deck is used, you have to reshuffle them and use them again. So let's go and carry on with the other British airborne units. Okay, so let's go. I will start with second company and this company. They are going to try to land on these hexes. So for this one, 4 and 1. Oh, no. And for that one, 2 and 2. So the same. And if there is the same, then they land. Okay, they landed. And now one more important thing. This unit was wrongly printed with same side on the both sides of the counter. So I will take it out and take one of the counters which were already removed from the game but have proper values. So that's for the first battalion, and then for the second battalion, its companies are going to land here. And now let's see if they will make it. For the company A, 5 and 3, nope. For the B company, 1 and 7, okay, it landed. And now for the C company, 1 and 10, it landed. Okay, that's great. So we have these 2 companies on. And now here we have a given hexes 0503, so they have to land here, and this one is going to land there. So for the company A, oh, joker, sorry, jokers have to be removed from the game. 10 and another joker, 2, it landed safely. For the B, 6 and 3, it is removed. From the C, for the C, 4 and 7, so C lands safely. Okay, that wasn't very bad. And now 3 additional units. 21st company, it lands on 0908. Here. Engineer company 0906. And second artillery observers group 0908. Okay, so these are our units, and I would say it wasn't bad. We lost about half of the less than half of our landing units, so that's not very bad, because according to my experience it can be much worse. Yeah, trust me. So this is going to be everything when it comes to the landing operation, and now we can start our game. So let's go and see. We are starting with turn 1, and let's see who is going to have initiative in the turn 1. This is British player, fantastic. So we have to flip this counter on the German side, and now we know that in the next turn there will be a German player who is going to have initiative by all means, because all the initiative markers are on the German side. So this card is gone, and now British player can choose which units he can activate. Let's check his cards. Oh hell, horrible. Why? Because we get these 3 cards have a value of 1, and this one has a value of 7, so this is the only good card we have. All the 3 others are good, but only for reorganization of the broken units. As for activation, it is the best to have units with the highest value. So how to activate? You can tell that all these units are marked with different colors. Colors show to which group they belong. So for example, all these pink ones are part of the same group, and you have to spend 2 points to activate the entire group. So for example, if you have a card with the value of 7 and you are playing it, you can activate 3 groups, because each group costs 2 points. Also, you can activate 1 weapon, for example, because activating 1 weapon alone costs you 1 point. But we have no weapons on board in this scenario. Germans are going to have a couple of them later. As for now, Brits have only their units. Also, you can try to activate your units, if you don't have any good cards on your hand, randomly. How it works? You declare how many groups you want to activate. For example, you say you want to activate 2 groups. So this costs you 4 movement points. You draw a card from the deck, and if such a card has a value of 4 or more, you can activate these 2 groups. No more. Even if you get, for example, 10, you can still activate 2 groups because you said so. Or if you will get a card which has a lower value, for example 3, then you cannot activate any of your groups. So this is a risk. So what I am going to do? I think I want to activate 2 of my groups, so I need a card with the value of 4 or less. Well, or more. I will try to take my risk, and I get a card of 8. So yeah, I can activate 2 of my groups, and this is going to be first battalion, and the next it is going to be the 3rd battalion. So these two groups are activated, so I can move or fire with all these units. So let's go. I will start with activating the first battalion. So I'm going to fire on these Italians with this company. Its range is 2, it is here, and its firepower is 1. Also, I have headquarter, and headquarter has a support of 1 at the range of 1, so I can give them +1. So now they are firing at these Italians with the firepower of 2. And we have a choice. We can play a card from our hand and add it to our strength, or we can play a card from the deck, drawn from the deck, and add it to our strength. So if you have a couple of strong cards on your hand, you can easily make your attack more effective. But I have only one good card on my hand. The other ones have a value of 1, so they aren't very impressive. So I will draw a card from the deck. Oh, this is 1. But that's interesting situation, because this is a figure, and if you are drawing a figure, random event occurs. But let's first we have to resolve this attack. So I have a strength of 1, and we are always doubling this strength. So I have 2. Next, I give them 1 from the headquarter, so it's 3, and 1 from this card, so it is 4. Defender's strength, morale, is 3, but they are in the orchard, and orchard provides cover of 2, so their total defense is 5. My firepower is 4, so it is less than their defense, so my attack wasn't very effective. This card activates Sniper, random event. Active player may disorganize one enemy unit, but only if this unit is non-motorized one and it is on the hex with such a symbol. So let me see. They are not, and here they are not, and they are not. So no German or Italian units are on such a hex, so we lost this event. Now, the remaining pink units, I mean the ones from the first battalion, these combat engineers, I will move them. Now, this is a marsh, and I need to spend 2 movement points. I have 4 movement points, so I move here, and now I have 2 more, because you have movement points here on the left side of the corner, and now I'm on the main road, and main road costs a half of movement point, so I will move here. So that's all for the first battalion. I don't have any other units of this battalion. So now, third battalion. I have 3 units that belong to this battalion, and what are they going to do? I need to hold both sides of the bridge, so this company moves here, and this company is going to move here to hold this part of the bridge. So that's my entire activation. This card is out, and this concludes turn 1. We are moving into turn 2. Let's draw a card, and this is of course a German activation, so counter is flipped on the German side, and same goes to the turn marker. And now German player. He has a lot of cards on his hand. And now what is he going to do? Notice that both Italian battalions here have different colors. This means that you need to spend 2 movement points to activate any of them. And all the German units here from the machine gun battalion have the same color, so you need only 2 points to activate all of them. That's great. So I think I will play this card. It has a value of 6, so I can activate all the Axis units on board, both German and Italian ones. And now, when you have many units to activate and you want to make sure that you already activated this unit and you won't forget about it, you can simply flip your counters to remember about it, or if you like, you can place some markers on to remember that such unit was already activated. So I have 6 activation points, so I'm going to activate all my 3 groups. First, this battalion is going to fire on these Brits. Now, they have firepower of 2 and a range of 1. So they are firing on this hex with the firepower of 4, because it's doubled, and they are going to not use cards from the hand, but to draw a random card. So it is, wow, 10. Okay, and it provides us 2 interesting cases. First of all, we got 14, which is not only higher, but it is higher than enemy's morale. But notice that our Brits are in orchard, so this means they have +2 to their cover. So they have morale of 6 +2, so it's 8, and we had 14. So we have more than enemy's morale, but no more than twice of this morale. And due to this fact, the enemy is disorganized, but do not suffer casualty, because if our attack strength would be twice as big as enemy morale plus cover, or even bigger, then enemy has to suffer 1 loss. But we had 14 versus 8, so we would need 16 or more. And we have only 14, so enemy is disorganized. This is not bad either. So these Italians are marked as being used. Next, this Italian battalion is not going to make combat, mostly because their range of fire is 1, but also here we have orchards, and orchards are blocking our line of sight, I believe. Let me check. Yeah, they are orchards are blocking line of sight, so I cannot fire at anyone, and I cannot because of my poor range. So I am moving here 1, 2, and 3, 4 on this hex. So this battalion is also being activated, and this concludes my second activation. So I spent 4 of my activation points. I still have 2. And now one last thing. I have drawn 10 on during my combat. This is the best card you can get, but it comes with some consequences. Every time you draw 10, you have to take your ammo marker and move it on the next place in the turn track. So ammo markers start out of the track, but now German ammo track goes to 1. And if it reaches 3, according to the special scenario rule, it says low ammo level Germans 3, Brits 1, then Germans will have a problem with their reaction fire. But so far we don't have any of this stuff, so that would be all, but our ammo level is lowered by 1. Okay, so let's go to these German units here. They are in the fortifications, and this means they have +2 to their cover, and we have 3 machine gun companies with their headquarter here. Notice that this headquarter is quite impressive because it has a support of 3 and a range of 5. So it can support each of these units, or one of them with the bigger number of points. So I will activate this company first, and it fires on this British company, because you are always using one unit and it can target one unit. You cannot fire with multiple units on the single target together. They have to fire alone, and you cannot fire with one unit to the multiple targets. So this is going to be 3. Its strength is doubled, so it's 6. I take 1 point from my headquarter, so it still has 2, and the strength will be 7 now. And I draw a card to resolve to check my strength. It's 8, and now enemy is on the hill, and the hill provides cover of 1. So I have 8, and enemy has a cover of 7. So enemy is disorganized. That's good. And then I draw a figure. A figure activates an event. So let me check what kind of events this lady gets. Additional ammo. So we can lower our low ammo factor by 1. That's amazing. So that was the first shot. Now this machine gun fires on the other British unit here. It has 3, so it is 6. +1 from the headquarters, so it's 7. And then let's draw a card. And this is 9. Fantastic. So this was 7. This was 7 plus 9. It is 16. It has 6 plus 1 because of the hill. It's 7. So we not only have more than their defense, but also we have more than its doubled defense, because its double defense would be 14 and we have 16. And now, due to this fact, this unit is not only disorganized, but it also suffers a loss. And since it is one-step unit, it is eliminated. That's great. So both of these units fired, and now this machine gun company can fire as well. It has a range of 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I haven't them in my range, but I have them in my range. So again, they have 6 plus 1 from the headquarter, because I spent 2 of my support points, so I still have 1, so it's 7, and I am targeting this already broken unit. And now this is 8. Oh, Germans are a lucky ones. So I have 8 plus 7, it is 15. Their morale is lowered by 1 because they are disorganized, so they have 5 plus 1 because of the hill, it is 6. So I have 15 versus 6. It is twice bigger than their defense, so this unit is also eliminated. Okay, and this concludes German activation, and we are moving into turn 3. We have to remove all the markers if we use them, and now we have to draw another card to see who is going to be activated in this turn. It is British player. So now British player has to decide what he is going to do. Is he going to use activation from his cards? He's only one card that allows him to activate his units, or does he want to try his luck with a random activation from the deck again? Like I said, this is quite a risky thing, but sometimes it is the best thing you can do. I think I will take my risk again and I will try to activate them from the deck, but I want to activate only one group. Why? Because I don't feel quite certain about it. I don't want to push my luck too far, so I will try to activate only one group, so I need two or more to activate. So I am oh, that's three. Okay, that's good. That's enough for me to activate my man, because 3 is more than 2, but it's less than 4. So if I would say that I'm going to activate 2 groups, then 3 wouldn't allow me to do so, and I would waste my activation. Oh, that would be bad. But now I can activate my group, and I'm going to activate this first battalion. And what I'm going to do? First of all, I'm going to reorganize them. And I can do it in one of two ways. First of all, I can draw a card from the deck, and if my card will have value less than unit's morale or equal, then unit is reorganized. Or I can try to reorganize it with a card from my hand. I play one card from my hand, and if its value is equal or less than a unit's morale, it is activated, it is reorganized. Luckily, I have a couple of weak cards on my hand that are perfect for reorganization, so I play this king, and this unit is back to normal. Now, do I want to do anything else with them? I have these combat engineers. They have a range of 2, right? But here are orchards, and orchards are blocking my line of sight, so I cannot fire at these Italians. This unit was reorganized, so it cannot fire, and I want to hold this hex badly, so that's all. I'm not doing anything else, and this concludes British activation in this turn. We are moving into the turn 4. So this is German activation. So we have to flip this marker on the British side, and Germans are going to activate their men. Let me check their deck. I think I will play this one, and this allows me to activate 2 groups. But first thing first, according to the rule, this is a time to bring some British reinforcements. We get 5 anti-tank guns, and they have to be placed on the hexes with British airborne units. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so that's the thing, and in the next turn we will, in the turn 6, we will get some German reinforcements coming. So to remember about it, because I tend to forget about these things, I will place them on the turn 6. And now, I have 2 options. I can make my assault with these Italians on this hex, or I can simply fire on these Brits, or I can simply activate one of these Italian units and these Germans. Since I have to pay separately for each of these Italians, because they are different units, because they have different color. But I think I will try my luck with assault on this hex. I will try to destroy these Brits. That's my plan. So I declare that I'm going to activate both of them. So I spent all my activation points and I am assaulting this hex with my Italians. So how assault works? Let's place them like that to make it bit more clear. And let's mark this hex to remember that assault takes place on this hex. And now how it is resolved. First, we need to take one card for each unit being involved in assault, and it is placed on this side, so we don't know this card. And now I was left with one card alone, so I need to take my deck and draw it. First I have to shuffle it, and then I have to I can make use of it. And now what is the next step? Next, each player defender first can play one card. For it can be card from his deck, or it can be card drawn randomly from the deck. So this is his choice. He can play a card from his hand. If he has some good cards on his hand, he can make his defense better, or if he hasn't any, he can play a card drawn randomly from the deck. So I shuffled my deck and I am ready. So the British player decides to try his luck. He draws card from the deck for this company. Oh, that's good. It's 7, and this card is always revealed. And next, for this unit, we don't draw a card. Why? Because it is a weapon, and weapons always use only a single card from the deck, and it cannot play second card. So it stays with this card. And now Italians. Italians have the same option. They decide to play card from their hand because they have this very good 9, and to play another card from the deck. So, oh, this is 2. No good. And now we have to check if we don't get any bonus cards. First, attacker gets bonus if he has his attack being led from more than one hex. And it's not working here because we made our assault from a single hex, so we don't get bonus for attack from multiple directions. Next, you get additional cards if you use mechanized and leg units attacking in the single assault if enemy has no anti-tank weapons. We have only leg units, so we don't get modifier for that. And these are all modifiers. So next, let's check for our attack strength. So this is Italian attack. Ooh, pretty impressive. And this is British defense. So now we have calculate total strength. So it's 17, 19, 27, 29, 31 versus 12, 16 and 18. So due to this fact, attacker is stronger than defender and attacker won the battle. So now how it works. Defender suffers one casualty for each of his fighting units. So he had 2 units, so each of them has to suffer 1 casualty. So this unit is eliminated and this gun is also eliminated. And defender and the one that oh sorry, I said it wrong. The one that lost suffers 1 loss from each of his units, and the one that won suffers only 1 loss. So Italian player suffers one loss. Sadly, each of his units has only one step, so one of them is eliminated. And now he can occupy the hex if it was if it is empty of defender's units. It is, because all the enemy units are eliminated. And now, that's not all. Why? Because it was a move. And now, since this hex is occupied by the Axis units only, then allies can fire at it. So now I have to check for the defender's attack defensive fire value for each of the allied units that have a range to this hex. So it has one, it has this hex in its range, and they also have them in the range. So I have to check how many times they can fire on these Italians. And same goes here. I have 6, I have 2, and well, this headquarter cannot. And of course it is allowed only for these units that can see them. So if there would be, for example, some British units here, so they would have their line of sight to this hex blocked by Orchard, and they wouldn't be able to see these Germans. So same goes to them. Their line of sight is blocked by the fortifications on this hex, so they cannot see them. How do we check the number of defensive fire? We draw a card for each of our units, and we subtract a value of our low ammo from card's value. So far, Brits have no low ammo factor, because their low ammo counter is out of track. So we are simply taking a card to see how many times each unit can fire. So for this anti-tank gun, wow, it's 10. And this is good and bad. It is good because this means it can fire 3 times, but it is 10 and we draw 10. Let me check. No, it's not working. It works only if you will draw 10 during your assault or fire. If you are drawing this card during the test, it's not working as modifier for your low ammo. So it's not lowering defense British ammo. They have they have 3 shots. Now these combat engineers, 4, and 4 means that we get 1 shot, right? Let me check. Yeah, 1 shot. So these combat engineers have 1 shot, and this headquarter, king. So this is 1 shot. So each unit on this stack is marked, and now them. They have a range of 2, this gun has a range of 6, and this headquarter has a range of 1, so we don't have to check for the number of defensive fires, because enemy is out of range. But since we get a king, this card activates event. And let me check King of Hearts additional orders. Active player, and active player is German player, gets additional orders same to the number of cards he get at the beginning of the game. So German player has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards, and he started with 10 cards, so he can get 3 cards. That's good for Germans. And now let's remove these cards and let's check number of defensive fire for these 2 units. First, for this company, it's a king. Oh, so another event, and it is 1. And next, for anti-tank gun, it is 2, so it's also 1. And now let's see what this king gives us. Additional orders for the player who has no initiative. So British player gets additional cards. He has 3 cards and he started with 4 cards, so he get 1 card. And that's all. Now we know how many defensive fires we have. Let me check. No, I have to check for them as well. They have a range of 2 and they can see these Italians. So 5, 2 shots. So now I know how many times I can fire at Italians from each of these units. And now, each of these units might that has them in its range and has defensive firepower value 1 or more, can fire at these Italians. They can fire once at a unit on the hex. So if unit moves on the hex, it can be fired once for each of the enemy units that has them in their range and has enough shots. Defensive fire is resolved a bit differently than offensive fire. I will show you. So let's start. This gun fires first. It had 3, so now it will have 2. And now, how do we resolve defensive fire? First of all, it is never doubled. We are firing with our original firepower only. So it is 1. And next, we cannot play cards from our hand. We can only use cards from our deck. So it has 1. It takes a card and it is 4. So it is 5. And Italians have 3. And they are in the on the hex with an orchard. So this is 5. So we have 5 versus 5. Since our offensive value is equal to the defensive value, this is no effect. So this gun achieved nothing. Also, it is quite important to state that weapons cannot cause casualties among to the enemy units. Even if they hit, and if they would technically cause a casualty due to the very good effect, they can only disorganize the enemy unit. They can never cause damage by making enemy to suffer casualty. So now these combat engineers, they are firing with a strength of 1. So now they will have defensive shots reduced to 0. And now let's draw a card. They have 1, +1, no effect. Next, our headquarter. Yes, headquarter can only fire. You cannot use support from the headquarter while performing defensive fire. So it fires with 1. And 7. 7 plus 1 is 8. They have 3 plus 2, it's 5, so they are disorganized. And now this company fires with the strength of 1 and +2, it's 3, no effect. And finally this gun fires with the firepower of 1 with 7. So we have 7 versus 3 minus 1 plus 2. So it is 4. And we got 7, so they are disorganized again. What it means? If the unit is disorganized again, it has to retreat on the hex, making it as far as possible from closest enemy units. So they have to retreat on that hex or on that hex. They cannot retreat on this hex because it wouldn't make them further from enemy units. So they are retreating here. And that's all. We cannot perform any more defensive fires against these Italian units. And this concludes this activation too, because it was the entire Axis activation in this turn. So we have to remove all the defensive fire markers at the end of every activation. And this concludes turn 4. We are moving into turn 5. Notice that starting with the previous turn, there was an option to use artillery fire against enemy units. I haven't such a chance. I mean, I wanted to use my Italians and my points to activate my Italians, so I didn't use it. But starting with this turn, Brits also have an option to use their fire. Now, we are moving into turn 5. And I think this is a good moment to call it a day and to finish the first part of this video. We will back soon, but for now let's make a draw to see who is going to activate in the next turn. This is a heart, so Germans will be activated again. Well, they had a lot of activation markers, so I guess that's pretty obvious that they are going to activate. And well, I will have to activate Germans because this lone Italian unit is disorganized, so I will have to reorganize it too, but we will need to move our Germans as well. Because their range is 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they can still fire on this hill, but well, I need to move them closer here too. So, as for today, that's all. Thank you for watching and see you next time.